Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the main stage for our final session today. We hope that you have found the conference helpful and informative. Once again, my name is Kim Slade, and I'm pleased to bring back to the main stage Ellen Campbell. So Ellen, can you tell us a little bit about how you feel this conference has contributed to helping us better understand some of the barriers that cause silence for those experiencing intimate and interpersonal violence?
I'm happy to. I am so pleased with the speakers we had today. I've been doing this for 30 years, and I have learned so much today. And I'm sure a lot of people out there as well. That last session on brain injury, I had no idea. So I think, first of all, we got a perspective from an other perspective. For instance, Dr. Katz this morning, that was such a different perspective. And I realize I'm guilty of it myself because we do support male survivors. I've always been very careful to say that men abuse women. Well, of course, it's not all men, but the women that are raped, it was men that raped them. So we need to change our language for sure. And so I think changing our language was one really good point. The First Nations, I mean, we work with Suzanne Smoke and 10,000 children. That's just, and that the Indian Act is still in place. I mean, I had no idea that was still in place. And it just shows you what we've done to them in this country and what we owe them. And just the awareness and just the support. And I'm sorry, but I do get upset. I've seen it. I've seen these people. I've seen what she goes through. And it's so unkind. I think more than anything, I don't see kindness. I just see judging. And if people only watched her presentation today to see what we have done to them and what we owe them, to change things. And so I'm so grateful for Susan. She works so hard, and we need to support them any way we can. Of course, we had an amazing presentation with Loretta, which I think a lot of people want to know what's the difference between criminal and civil survivors. Being a survivor myself, thank you. If you're watching, it was very brave of you to step forward. But one wonderful thing I can say as a survivor, and what I heard over and over again, was the word shame. And it's when you can remove the shame that you're able to heal. And these women that spoke today, that's what they did. That's what I had to do. That's what I can talk about it. I have no more shame. I put that on my perpetrator. I don't carry that anymore. So again, I'm just so pleased with having the survivors speak. Of course, Tam, I'm so grateful for Tam for this was his idea and his presentation. I know it's very powerful and maybe for some hard to look at, but that's the reality. And we felt it was really important to show that. And who else? First Nations. I just think that overall, all our speakers, the brain injury was so amazing. I had no idea so many women suffered brain injury from strangulation. So I think I'm so proud of this conference because, first of all, it brought such great perspective. It brought so many different ideas and views and stories. That's what we need to remove the shame. And the only way we are going to heal is when we support each other and do something like this. So I want to congratulate all the speakers, everybody watching. I'm probably talking to the choir because all of you are probably in your recovery or you're helping people. But I'm just really pleased with the overall day. I learned a lot myself.
That's great, Ellen. Thanks for sharing. So with all of your years of experience working in the community, what do you think is something that needs to be done to empower the community to make change and move towards early detection, intervention, and prevention of interpersonal and intimate partner violence?
Well, I guess one of the things I've mentioned already is removing the shame. That is the key. And I think the only way we remove it is awareness. Conferences, workshops, supporting agencies that are doing the work is a huge thing. Of course, we're going to put all the information we get from our 3 conferences and provide a tool to help people. I was very impressed with what the brain injury people have done. And there's an amazing book. I want to make you all aware of it as well. I know the lady from out west was talking about a book for survivors, for women that have been abused. And what do you do? How do you prevent it? Where's your help? We do have such a book here in York Region. So you can reach out to us if you want a copy of that. But again, it's just making people aware. And I remember when I first, I mean, I didn't understand that I had been sexually abused for a while, like most people. My life was just a mess. I kept picking unhealthy men, and it's just, you don't have enough time for me to tell you my story. All I can tell you is, if I only could find one person that made it, that went through what I went through, that I didn't feel worthy, I had no sense of self, and I had no idea that I could even make it. And I found that person. And I think everybody out there, some point, somebody's going to cross your path, that you're going to find that one person that you can support, or maybe you're the person that needs the support. Find somebody. Don't be isolated. Come to a group, join a group. There's lots of support groups for women and also men. I want to mention that men also are victimized as well. And we do support men as well. So I think, and of course, our e-zines coming out in July. So I think the most important thing is to do just what we're doing, is get the word out, let more people know, and everybody can do something. Everybody can support in some way.
Okay, Ellen, I just have one last question, and then I'll let you have the floor to close out. So if you had one key message, one thing that you want everyone to leave with today, what would that be?
That would be that we're a community and we have to support one another. I like what Dr. Katz said this morning. He talked about we're responsible for each other. And he made a comment. He said, it's easier to raise a healthy child than heal a wounded man. I thought that was so profound. So really, it starts with our children. And I guess I want to say to everybody that everybody can do something. I mean, look at Tam. Tam saw the worst. And what he has done as a homicide police officer, and then he worked with children, and he saw the worst, and he thought, I can do something. And then he spoke to Liz, actually, who used to be the chairman of our board. And the rest is history. Look what he's done. And me, I'm one person. I have grade 9 education. I was a mess in the suicide ward, but all I thought was, if I can help one person. And I just started, maybe I can I had a recovery bookstore, maybe I can do a conference. And it just grew. I never intended it to grow like this. So for all of you, I want to say my closing remark is, we can all do just even one small thing for somebody. You don't know what it's going to mean. And support. I mean, I'm going to do a shameful plug here. You can support us, but there's a lot of amazing agencies out there that are doing great work. Volunteer. The best thing I ever did for my own healing was to step out and do something for someone else. So I guess that would be, and I want to give everybody hope. I'm a good example. You've heard other survivors today, that recovery is possible. You won't only survive, you'll thrive. And so I want to thank all of you for joining us today. I've had a great time. I hope you have. I've learned so much, and I'm so excited about our next conference in October. And I'll let Kim close off with what that's going to be all about. So thank you all. God bless you. We really, really appreciate having you here today. Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you, Ellen, and thank you to everyone for attending today. Learn is our first conference in the Hope Conference series. The sessions have been recorded and we'll be making them available over the next couple of days. We have to do some editing. So we'll send out a broadcast email to everyone to let you know how to access the recordings. Please come back and do that, and you can watch all the different sessions. Again, we want to thank our funder, Wage, for making this conference and the remaining conferences possible. We hope to see you all in October. It's October 18th. The conference name is Leverage, and that will be our second installment in the series. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us at hopeconference@abusehurts.ca, and we'd be happy to respond. This concludes our final session for the day, and we hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.